There we go. Starting.
So,
So, yeah. We were talking about Kaylee Kawako or something.
the Harley Quinn show
Oh, okay.
cartoon.
So it's a cartoon.
It's a cartoon.
Oh, okay.
And she's the voice, and she's really high pitched. So I was thinking that would be who was doing the Kesha ghost haunting show.
Oh.
But
No, man, fuck that. Like, they've tried this a couple of times, and look, the only person who got it right was Arlene Sorkin. She was the original voice for it. She was awesome.
Oh.
Any other version of that is dog shit.
Was that the Batman cartoons from what? Yeah, okay. I know what you're
She
talking
was the original one.
Playing opposite of Mark Hamill.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think maybe I haven't heard it in a long time, but I thought they sounded kind of similar.
No.
Kind of funny how that works. You actually listen to something after a long time. It's like, oh, this song sucks. This guy's voice is way worse than I remember it being.
Well, okay, so, I'm going to put it to you like this, okay? I want you to go back to, like,
That's just an update. We're still recording. It wants me to get Acer exclusive Elvinar and get $10 off an in-game bonus.
Do it! Do it! Just click it!
So it also says you need another mortgage extension.
If it pops up, it knows you want it.
I X'd it. This is what happens when you give me admin privileges.
no, okay, to get to my original point, I want to take you back to, like, the mid-'80s, right? And it's the Garfield Halloween special, right?
Blinky the
Lorenzo
Clown.
music.
Okay, right, so this is what I thought. I said, candy, right? You know, so this is...
Isn't that the one with Jumping Jacks with Binky the Clown?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
okay.
okay.
So, you can picture Garfield's voice, right?
Oh,
Gar Halloween Field, right? This is...
I'm picturing a voice, but I don't.
Same as Tummy and Gummy Bears. Yeah.
Well,
I don't know if that cleared it up for him,
that
but...
did not
I
clear
think
it
that
up
made
for
it
me.
worse.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I don't know I couldn't tell you the voices of any of the Gummy Bears.
Okay, what I'm telling you here is that's the voice of Garfield. A bunch of guys have tried to do a Garfield, and it always sounds special needs. All right,
What about Bill Murray?
Huh?
Bill Murray was
No,
terrible.
he sounded like Bill Murray. That's the thing. He just
Well, does Bill Murray sound like Garfield?
oh, actually,
No,
that's
it's
right.
not even
No.
close.
That's
Yeah.
right because Lorenzo Music also did Venkman in the Ghostbusters
I know,
cartoon.
and which was played by Bill Murray. That's
Right.
the circular Rick and Morty logic that they.
Well,
Yeah.
no, I was just trying to see if Will remembered like hearing Venkman
Big
talk.
yeah.
Right.
From Ghostbusters?
From the original cartoon.
The cartoon one?
the
Oh,
cartoon.
no.
Yeah.
I can't think what his voice sounds.
But yeah, and like the
He was Garfield?
Yeah, I was the
Yeah.
same guy.
Yeah. And this is what I'm saying here is like they've got new people. They've done new Garfield cartoons, and it's always weird. It's always like food, hello, food. Right? It's
I
it's
haven't
really
seen any Garfield cartoons since back then, man.
Oh, no.
Except for the Bill Murray one, and it was like, yeah, he's just totally being Bill Murray.
Well, did you ever see that weird one on Cartoon Network where it was done in 3D?
I completely avoided that one. So,
It's surreal.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's the same thing with the old Harley Quinn voices. Those people that do it are only doing an imitation of what Arlene Sorkin did, and it's weird and off. Right? And that's what I'm saying is if somebody went in there like with a totally different perspective, right? And let's say they played it all like fucking like femme or weird or just something like that. All right, well that's a different take. But you're not doing a copy of this.
Because even Maggie,
Margot Robbie.
Margot,
yeah.
she does it that way too.
Yeah.
Is that how you say it? Is it Margot?
I think so.
Okay.
That's how I've heard it most frequently.
I've also just heard it as plain up Margaret. So I don't think that's right.
I'm pretty sure it's not. I keep hearing it as Margot.
Okay.
I think that's kind of what
Yeah.
I've heard it as. But
Okay, got it. Not that I really care, but
No, Pastor, I'm sorry, but yeah, it's kind of like okay, Pat. So remember how in Star Wars Dark Forces?
are we going to talk about Star Wars?
No, what I'm going to talk about is in the video
a game?
game.
Okay.
They have a Darth Vader. Is he being voiced by James Earl Jones?
No, but it's pretty good.
But is he trying to do James Earl Jones?
Yes,
Right.
It
Is it
works.
so much that you can tell that it's not him?
barely.
Okay, but
If
that's
you're
what
really
I'm saying.
dedicated. Yeah.
You could not do a different kind of voice for Vader, could you?
Well, that's kind of the problem I'm
I'm
going with.
Vader.
I know, like, there's nothing else that.
Come on, boys, let's go get the bag.
Yeah. Like, there's. Yeah, maybe Harley's just way too unique that
That's
you
what I'm
just
saying. yeah.
gotta.
You're
Yeah.
you're doing an imitation of the voice. Like even if you
have
go in
to.
there with like a different voice, right? Like an established
Like
voice.
Batman. 'Cause he's had.
5 different voices.
He
And
has,
people give each other grief over which one they like best and all that stuff, but
but they play them differently.
yes,
Yeah, they do.
They do.
they do. But you couldn't do that with Vader.
I don't know. That's the problem.
I don't
Oh,
think
man.
you could, man. I mean, but if anybody was going to betray, it'd be fucking Disney. Yeah.
Give him a happy voice.
Well, here's the thing: is they solved that problem. Is James Earl Jones has now formally retired from that. He'll never do it again. But they have a machine that actually generates
Yeah.
his voice.
Well, he's read enough audiobooks that you could do that.
Well, no, it's
I mean,
not.
he read the version of the Bible that I listened to. So, yeah.
Every word possible.
I
has
think,
been
yeah,
said.
he's gone over every word at least once in digital form.
I don't know. I don't think he's done like LOL. Although Vader saying
Yeah.
LOL would be just
Oh, you could say it.
awesome.
I think he'd say it out loud. They'll laugh out loud.
The lulls.
I don't think he'd abbreviate it.
It was only a few weeks ago that I put LOL in a text to Mom, and she said, "What is that?"
What is that? Yeah.
I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
wow! I thought that one was universal."
It's weird. Well, see, like I get it, but there are a lot of people that use LOL as like in place of like a period.
Oh, just
I-
like
yeah,
the end
I've
of the
seen people do
sentence.
that.
It's just how they complete their thought.
Yeah. Well, and so I've actually read some stuff on this, like the different types of nuances that people have actually picked up as tics in terms of writing their emails and stuff like that.
Oh.
And so
Interesting.
that's actually one of them, and it's designed to actually. So the objective behind it is to actually, kind of like
That you're
somehow-
laughing while saying it.
no, not laughing while you're saying it, but just kind of lightening the mood of it. So because like if you actually write a formalized email now, people take it as kind of offensive. You know, it's like, what? Why are you being so? Why are you being so stiff with me? You know, kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you know, and so if you drop an LOL or two in there, it's good.
God,
No, you're right. Because like if you were
God, you'd be ripped apart then. You and your perfect.
well, I want them to picture it in my voice more specifically. But yeah, you're right. So if you wrote a formal email, like say for example, you're talking about your on-campus work, and you're doing a to everybody kind of email about these are my new office hours.
Why are you lecturing me, Pat? That's exactly the response.
I can't be bothered between the hours of 12 and 4
We'll see that.
because. But if you did that and said, I can't be bothered between 12 and 4 because that's when I'm teaching class, LOL.
Okay, you got it. Yeah.
But if it was the first one, they're like, oh,
Fuck
Pat,
got up
what?
his ass.
Like-
Yeah.
Who got the
I don't know. Do you put LOLs in your email?
Not often, but yeah, sometimes with my students.
I don't know if I put it in an email. I do it texting all the time, and I don't know if I've ever done it in email.
My emails have basically become like texts. So
Yes.
Gotcha.
I mean, every now and then I send out like a, you know, kind of a more official one, so I can't fucking do it. You know? So, but I'm careful about how the tone comes across depending on the audience. So, and if there's students included in that audience, and if I send something out that was the same that I would send to my boss, then they're going to be like,
What do we do?
yeah.
What's up?
well, back get yelled at, you know, or something like that. So yeah, but all my emails. So I've ditched all the conventions. I have no fucking signature line on my email anymore. I
Oh,
deleted it. I fucking despise those things. So yeah.
I have
So
to have it.
I don't have salutations in my email anymore. So it's not like Dear Joe or something like that. It's just it goes right in a text now. So yeah.
Gotcha. It is a text. Okay.
It's basically all my emails. Like if I write an email that's more than 3 lines long, it's a fucking big deal. So
Well, the difference between an email and a text is that it all comes down to the title.
Because you have a subject.
Correct.
yeah, that's
Right.
true. Yeah.
So that is what takes the place of the salutation and everything, is that you let them know what the topic is.
Yep.
That would be the basic text of LOL barbecue at 4. Right?
yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But if you have to do the subject, then you have to elaborate.
Why do you gotta put LOL in front of barbecue at 4? Like, that's not threatening in any way.
oh, you're looking forward to it, man. Ha barbecue at 4. You guys gonna be there? You know?
There's whoopee cushions all over the place. Like, what is this a joke?
That's well, yeah. I was thinking more like, is this a barbecue where people get fired?
Right. It's the kind where there's only so many chairs left by the time I get there.
Yeah, yeah, and you can tell because, like, when you go sit down with the boss, it's your turn. He says, "Why don't you go fix yourself up a plate?"
Oh shit.
It's like, just a plate.
Do I need a drink with that?
Don't worry about a drink, but get 2 plates. Put the other plate on top.
Well, then you might as well not come back. You know?
Oh, okay.
That's where you take the tray of the barbecue.
Yeah. So I don't know. I am not an LOL user in my emails.
I have very few outgoing emails, though.
That's kind of it. Yeah.
I do dozens of them every day. So they have gotten so efficient.
Well, and that's a big change for you because you, not to pick on you, but you did used to write the preamble to the Constitution on
did.
every email, man. Like,
Absolutely. I mean, and you're just not giving your audience any credit when you do that. So it's like, no, I want to tell you exactly what to think, you know? And so I try and like get, the exact thing that I was trying to say across, and it never worked. So
well, the other problem is I can think how many times I had the response of, didn't read.
well, yeah, exactly. And I do the
Waste
exact
your time.
Oh fuck, I do the exact same thing dozens of times a day. So
You send me a wall of text. I'm gonna read the first line or the bottom line. If there's anything in the middle,
if the bottom line requires me to scroll to it, it ain't getting read either, man.
I was about to say, kids nowadays with their short attention spans. Holy crap.
we're trying to get stuff done. You know how it goes.
I'll read it.
Yeah.
Look, and if the last line comes up, and sometimes if it is saying something along the lines of there will be consequences, or
I haven't had consequences in.
Man, you better really be careful if you're threatening me in an email. You better put the threat in the subject line,
yeah, I get it. So yeah, that's kind of a tough one. And I mean, it is funny to get one of those, especially when it's part of a big like group thing, like the boss sends it to everyone. And then you see that stray reply that's to everyone, which should have gone just to the boss, and it just starts with, "I beg your pardon," or something like that.
I've never seen one. I've seen some hilarious ones though over the years.
Yeah?
So yeah, we had one drop just this fall that was great. It was so classic. So because we had this real big bombshell news that I won't go into detail for doxing reasons.
Ah, okay.
So, but one of my colleagues immediately responded with "Holy fucking shit!" I mean, like not within a minute after this thing was sent. Okay, the original one, and I was at home, and I literally had to stand up, all right, because I was gonna fall out of my chair. So, and then I was sitting there just waiting at my computer. I was like, waiting for the recall. Right. It came like 10 seconds later, and I was like, too late, brother. So it was great. It was so good. And this is to like 50 fucking people.
Yeah, I have seen a few where say like a general threat went out. And yeah, somebody that wasn't guilty of said threatened practice would come back and say, "Excuse me,"
Wow.
or
Yeah.
When did I do this?
well, yeah, it's like,
wait, what?
am I doing this? It's
Yeah.
like when you get the message about like those of you who are padding your time cards right now, and I've seen people say like, "You better not be talking about me," or like, "I put this every week because I was told to." And if you're like,
Yeah.
"I'm not talking about you,"
Right.
Oh,
then why didn't you send the email to the people that are violating
Yeah.
this?
No, the one that I always liked, and I've seen this one a couple times, is where something like that goes out. He's like reminder that some of our people are not doing blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And so someone hits the reply all button at that point in time and says, "Can we meet?" It's just like, oh, someone took that one the wrong way.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
So I wonder if you're guilty or not.
I watched this thing about, and you tell me if you believe in any of this stuff, especially with the interactions that your wife has had with law enforcement and things like this, right?
Okay.
There was this cop talking about this line of questioning that you do that is supposed to lead people to like spots where you get them to expose themselves.
Uh-huh.
Like, do you believe in this crap, or is it kind of
real.
like,
yeah.
okay,
No, that shit's fucking real.
okay?
So yeah.
And it was like the kind of thing where his example was, let's say that somebody was stealing from the office,
Uh-huh.
right? And he said that the way that you approach this question first would be, you ask people, so if somebody were stealing from the office, yeah, it's like, what should the punishment be?
Oh, that's a classic one. That
Yeah.
one's actually got a lot of research behind it.
Does it?
Back up. Yeah.
Does it? So this isn't just hooey?
No, that's fucking real shit.
Okay.
So they'll do that, and like the tip off in that one is that if you're the person who's like, they should fucking cut his nuts off, then it's not you. Because if you see that like whatever has been done is a moral outrage, okay,
Right.
clearly it's not you.
What if
okay?
you said, well, what got stolen?
Well, say they tell you that, so they say, well, if somebody stole something from the office, but if they were to say, well, if somebody around here was committing time card fraud, okay, which was costing the company money that might result in us laying people off, what should we do to the individuals who are doing that? Then if they're like, fire them fucking immediately, then okay, that guy's not doing it. Okay, in all likelihood. Now, he might know this trick. You might be wise
Right,
to it.
right.
But not that many people are,
Okay.
because especially when you're trying to lie about something, you kind of spin it as you go. And so the classic technique is that's something you ask later, but you just start with the truth. And you always ask him, because I've done this in investigation training and shit.
Oh, okay.
So for HR and blah, blah, blah. But you tell them, all right, tell me exactly what happened. And they tell you what happened, okay? And then you write it all down, and then you leave for a little bit. You say, okay, I got to go talk to somebody else about this for a little bit. Can you stick around for a little bit? Yeah, sure. Okay. And you come back. You say, like, can you go over this with me again? I think I jacked it up. And if they start fucking up the story...
Gotcha.
Yeah, and cops get like really vicious. There's a great YouTube channel out there that's done by this guy who's a professional at this shit. And they use it in like criminal justice classes and stuff.
Yeah.
Where they're like actual cases with real people. Okay, and this guy is the guy who's guilty, and they found that out throughout forensics and stuff, but they didn't know that at the time of this investigation. They'll show all the steps that the cops are using, all right, in order to try and get that individual to establish their story. Then they'll go back, ask them to tell again. They'll come back. They'll ask them to tell it backwards. Okay.
Whoa.
They'll find all this different shit. Yeah, different. There's tons of little things that they do.
That's rough. Like, wow.
Yeah.
So, and they don't do that on purpose. They don't. Well, I mean, they don't do that to tip their hand. They don't come in and say like, "Oh, okay, so tell me the entire story backwards." They'll come back and they say, "Okay, so you're here. Where were you before then?"
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think that plays into the other part that the guy was saying was that you have to go in there and basically intentionally fuck something up on purpose to see if they correct it or not, or if they let it slide. It's like, and they'll be like, "So you were at the club
Gotcha.
on Tuesday, right?" When previously he said it was Saturday,
Right.
And if he just like spaces it, right, then you check to see if he's like, "Wait, did you say Tuesday?" It's like, "No, I was there on Saturday." Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Or the other thing was that they would like erroneously place you somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah, and say like, yeah,
they'll go in and they'll fuck up the story, and then no, it happened like this. Then that's actually like, okay,
Yeah.
this guy, the story is the same front and back, back and forward, and things like that, and everything checks out. And so then they'll look at other people, in terms of that. I mean, we used to do this shit in investigation when I was working with the union, so it wasn't that hard. So
And then they'd be like, well, somebody said they saw you around Paul's office, and they'd be like, well, yeah, I'm supposed to be there. I drop off the reports every day.
oh, that's right, you said that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or like it's like, I'm not supposed to be around Paul's office. So whoever saw me there is lying through their teeth.
Yeah.
Right. Or they saw somebody else. Right.
Right.
Or that's when they said that people must have was like, well, because he said I could get the key, but he wasn't in yet, so I was waiting around to see if he would. Yeah.
The key thing about someone who's trying to like pull one on you, and that is they're trying to convince you of it. And so if you make yourself easily convincible on something, so they don't get pissed off, they just play along. If you make yourself difficult to convince on something, they get mad because they're like, motherfucker, I'm telling the truth, kind of thing. And so those are the kind of reactions that you're looking for in that case. And then, so that question is like, what should happen to this one? The tip off on that one is like, well, maybe their kids got to eat too.
Right.
And then you're like, okay, duly noted. So, I mean, none of this stuff is deterministic, and people do fuck up their stories and stuff,
Right.
But like I'll see if I can find this YouTube channel if you're interested in that stuff, because it's really, really cool.
Well, I got this ended up being something that it was part of a program that I was doing, and that's why I thought like this is a TV, Patrick. So there's always a big like hokum detector that I have where this is just some old bullshit. But
well, and to be fair, there is a lot of hokum in that stuff. So there's a lot of people that will talk about like body language and shit like that.
Looking to the left.
There's no fucking correlation between any of that stuff. That's all been bunked. So like
The way your eyes point or
the
whatever.
way your eyes point, whether or not you maintain eye contact with somebody doesn't mean anything. Sometimes it could be too intense eye contact because they know it's like, oh, I better look you right in the eye because I'm going to lie to you right now,
Right.
So, or the classic one, I heard this one even way back in business school, like doing interviews and stuff like that. It's like, are their feet pointed towards the door? This is all it's all bullshit.
Like, are they twisted into? Are they the body will make like an arrow and like point is like
or any kind of asymmetry in the body.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's all bullshit because everybody has their own ticks. You have to actually know that person. That's why if you're actually under investigation for something, the cops will sit down. They'll spend some time getting to know you. So they'll baseline you on certain
really fucking annoying with how long they keep some of these people in the
hours.
Yeah.
Absolutely hours. So but I mean like it's it works great because people who are like, fuck, I gotta go to work, man. It's like, well, how else can I do that? The cops are like, okay, fine, go to work, kind of thing. But there's a guy in the room next door who's desperate to convince you, and so he will stick around for 9 hours. So, yeah, there's a lot of sneaky bullshit on that stuff, but it's all based in just like,
just human nature, like.
Yeah, a little bit of it's human nature, but it's that motivation piece more so than anything else. It's like, all right, so what's your motivation to sit here and engage with me for 9 hours? You're trying to convince me to get me off your back. So if you're sitting here for 2 hours, you're cooperative. If you're sitting here for 3 hours and get pissed off after that, all right, then, okay, like you're not trying to convince me of anything. You're trying to get the fucking work.
Yeah.
So a lot of it's just common sense shit too. There's a strategy behind it, so which is kind of clever.
Well, and that was the thing is because some of the other ones that I thought seemed like kind of shady were the ones where they'd say, oh, well, based on this, you can tell that this politician was lying when they said this or whatever. Mm-hmm. Number one, these people are on a different level than you think they are, and I don't mean that in a. I'm not saying that politicians are a subspecies of human or anything, but there's a certain amount of moral relativism that they have that you don't understand, right?
Yeah. I mean, it varies from one to the other,
of course.
But,
yeah. So,
so there's some of them that are kind of interesting. So, like, I watched this whole video once that was on the breakdown of the difference between lying and then, like, actual, like, bona fide confessions on things.
yeah.
And so, and two of the example cases that they used in this was OJ's testimony, okay, at his civil trial, all right? And then the other one was Bill Clinton's press conference. I did not have sex with that woman.
Yeah.
So,
No, he said, I did not have relations.
I did not have relations with that woman. So, and they broke actually down quite a bit of body language, and then they compared it to like other people who had been,
Put under the spotlight or...
well, accused of something and
Yeah.
were guilty of it and decided to go with the strategy of punching back as hard as possible.
Right.
And so, and it
Right.
was like, he gets very emphatic in his language. He gets very clear, so you make sure you understand him. He does this with his fist.
Yes.
You know, it was like all these different like little ticks and stuff like that. And they said each one of these individual things does not mean anything. All right.
Right.
But the fact that incongruence, or I mean, in concert, there's so many of them right here. So, and by the way, he confessed to it later. So, we have confirmatory evidence. Later on down the road, kind of shows you what he was trying to do. And so,
Yeah, you're right. You can turn it around. And it's just, like, if you watch that video, that'd be so funny if you just tried to turn it around and say, like, I didn't.
Yeah.
I think you did, though.
right, yeah, exactly.
Me?
Me?
I was here. How could I steal my own car? It's funny you say that because the response on that one, which is the opposite, was, do you remember the televised Michael Jackson rebuke? And it's turning out that it looks like most of that
Yeah,
completely false.
yeah.
And he was emphatic about it, especially for Michael Jackson. He was
Yeah.
like, oh, man, you look weird when you, like, suck in your teeth because you're mad.
Yeah, he was definitely mad.
Whoa. Right. Now, was he weird? Yeah. I just don't know if that's a crime.
I don't know if that's a crime, but yeah, I don't know. There's going to be a lot of unknown unknowns in there.
Yeah, well, and
So,
especially, you're dealing with politicians and stuff, and again, they come from a different place. Like, much as I like Ron DeSantis, he looks like somebody who wants to, sell you a 76 Cutlass, So there's a certain, like, detachment that comes with...
he's a home warranty guy. Yeah.
Like, I feel like he'd correct you, like, when you said the term, he'd say, no, it's multi-level marketing.
Right, yeah, exactly. This is sophisticated, son.
Like, I feel like somewhere in his past he's done Amway, or he's done
Yeah.
fucking...
Right, yeah, Etsy or something.
fucking
I don't think that was around back.
just say, like, Ron, I'm going to say a word, you tell me if you understand. He's like, what? Cutco knives.
Right, yeah, exactly. It's like my favorite kind. So there's one in there that's actually really indicative, though. That was kind of interesting. There was a pattern that they showed multiple people on this one who had to testify. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, and so these are highly intelligent people. Okay. Who were ultimately proved guilty of these things that they had done or had confessed to it later. So and said, yeah, I did it, kind of thing. But they had all this like witness testimony on the stand with these guys, and so they'd be, they had their story back and forward and stuff like that. They
yeah,
down to a
yeah.
T. They had told themselves it so many times they believed it. There's actually one tell that you can't really hide unless you're hyper aware that you're doing it, because people are very sensitive to this. Do you know what it is?
No.
You smile. So if you're about to get away with something, you have this like, kind of, it's so. Watch your kids; they do it all the time.
The lie smile?
The lie smile. So it's known as duping delight. So
Right, that's
because
awesome.
you just dupe somebody, you actually take a little bit of,
Gotcha.
Like, I got you?
yeah, exactly. Like I got you, So I was like, doing good, didn't I?
Do you have to look at the person in the face that's doing it, or would you do it like when you turn your back?
It's more so like that, and that's where they got OJ on this one. So in one of his trials, in his first trial, because like after he got, there was one point in time in the trial, and it might have been after the glove, where he just looked back at like one of his friends. He was like,
So, okay. Does this, okay.
It's really hard to hide if you're getting away with it in the real time. So
No, Roger that. I'm just saying, like, so I feel like there's an extreme version of this where people don't just smile. There are people who, when they're under duress and they are lying, what they do is they kind of go into like, this is ridiculous, like laughing fit. Right.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's kind of like the same thing where you're trying to, like,
it might be.
yeah, because they're asking you. It's like, well, so were you home on the 20th? This is so stupid. It's like, you know, it's
You might be trying to hide it at that point, but
Yeah.
you know the thing about the duping delight in particular is that it's almost involuntary. So
okay.
yeah.
Well, I'm not saying that those people are cognizant of it.
Sure, yeah, no. In fact, it looked like most of them weren't. So, but oh, you mean people who are laughing?
Who are doing that kind of like dismissing laugh,
Yeah,
right?
But then again, they might be too. You know,
Like, I mean, again, that's a politician trick. Is like they're asking you, like, well, so what are you going to do about, you know, the trash situation? The trash situation.
yeah.
I wasn't even there. I was like, how can a YouTube video cause people to get killed? You know, whatever, right? I mean, there's a reason why there's so much footage of that cackling witch, right? That they can make fun of it.
Yeah.
And half the shit is just like when somebody asks her a serious question.
Is that Gretchen?
No, that's Hillary Clinton.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, if there's anybody out there who's probably intelligent enough and skilled enough and experienced enough to get away with that, it'd be her. So,
Oh, I'm not doing
But Kamala's is just she's an idiot.
She is trying to laugh away her stupidity. She really is.
Yeah. So that I think that's a different phenomenon. Yeah.
She's fucking dumb. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Meow, 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 meow.
Christ, man.
Did she do anything stupid this week?
I don't think so.
This week I don't know. All right, I just maybe.
I don't know. I am completely unplugged at the moment. So
Oh, well, that's fine.
yeah.
I see little bits and pieces, but nothing.
Yeah.
I know it's going to be a landslide.
Like nightly news tonight wasn't even like local news. There was like 2 national stories and that was it. So yeah. Oh, and like the bridge collapse in India made the news, you know, and then the crush in North and South Korea.
Oh, yeah.
So they bounced off all kinds of shit that normally gets on my thing. So
Yeah, and then there's been the volley of missiles between North and South Korea.
that was on today.
That was cute.
Yeah.
Like, I love how this is going to
South
end.
Korea actually fired back
Yep.
Did they?
with what?
With
Like bigger missiles or?
these came from aircraft.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know if it means anything. Well, I don't. There's a part of me that says this is.
We stopped the pissing contest with missiles.
It seems like somebody feels a little neglected right now.
I guess.
Yeah.
That fuck. That,
Yeah,
I mean,
I-
that shit gets old.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to do anything.
He'll just be wiped off the face of the earth.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but the problem is he'd wipe Seoul off the face of the earth too. So pretty quickly, I understand. As I understand it, I don't really know. So well, he's got nukes now. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's true.
And so, yeah, that raises a whole series of new questions. And
I wonder if he's not
Things
getting
that-
his regular support from Big Brother next door.
it's possible. They are. I don't know, man. There's still more talk about whether or not this is a prelude to actions against Taiwan. You and I both know we've seen enough conclusive data to say this is a resource drain that would be ridiculous.
China would gore itself on its own horn. So
100%.
yeah.
As a matter of fact, even in the Russian situation, I think they're about to hit a point where it's untenable because the latest scuttlebutt is that they're about to draft women. And I think
Oh,
it's
really?
I'm
Wow.
well, because look, a lot of men.
It did happen once before.
Yeah, but the people are going to say like,
Yeah, World War
but
II.
for what?
Oh.
Right? And I think there comes a point when you actually come to conscription for women. I think that may be the turning point where you're saying, for what?
Yeah, what are we
It might
getting out
be.
of it?
I don't know. I heard another interesting one the other day. So, that apparently there's this large dam. Did you hear about this one?
Tell me.
That's somewhere along the Dnieper River there. So that, like, if it looks like the Ukrainians are actually going to push them out of that, whatever that city is, over the river, all right,
Okay.
to the other provinces that that they hold tentatively
Yeah.
and stuff like that, that they're just going to blow that fucking dam. So, which would buy them like 3 or 4 months of time. Yeah. And I was like, that's a good Civ move.
This is this is some World War II shit if I've ever.
I know. I was like, yeah, I kind of like that one, man. That one makes sense.
Last man alive blows the.
Last man alive blows the dam. Yeah. So
Huh.
Boy, it's cool to live here sometimes.
it's way cool to live here, man. So you just have to put up with a couple annoying political ads for another week, and then it's back to business as usual.
Right.
So I do have to say that they have tamped it down a little bit. I thought they would ramp up a week before the election, but they were actually pretty chill the last 2-3 days.
I think I've only seen the same ones.
Yeah. So like on the news, when I watch the local news, you get like a Boebert one, an anti-Boebert one, and then one for either Joe Day or Michael Bennett, but usually not both. And then, heating and plumbing.
Well, this is. I wonder about the efficacy of this, where after you bombard people with political messaging very hard, right? I wonder if it's necessary to actually draw back a little bit, right? Instead of pressing the messaging until the last thing, where you say people are so stupid, and you say they're going to vote. It's kind of like an all offense game. Whoever touches the ball last wins. And so if you have the last ad in, I'm going to win. I'm the last ad they saw. All right, cool, right? Or if you have to bombard, take like a week off and say, actually, I have to let the messages swim around in your head, process, and then see unconsciously what you decide on voting day.
It might be. Yeah.
I do not know the strategy at all
Well, there was
for what they would do.
there's a book that I read a long time ago that actually had this quote from Rahm Emanuel. Do you remember him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so he's like this political guru kind of guy who wasn't he mayor of Chicago
Yeah.
after the Obama administration? For
Yeah.
okay. So, but he said that every political campaign consists of 3 parts. So, and each part has 3 priorities. Have you heard this one?
No.
So, the first part of the campaign, you have 3 priorities. It's money, money, and money. So, all you do is raise money.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Second part of the campaign, which starts a year before you actually go out.
Right.
So, all right, has 3 parts to it. It's money, money, ads. And the third part of the campaign, which is after you win your primary, okay, if you're primaried, okay, has 3 parts to it as well. And it's money, ads, votes. And that's it. So,
All right.
I guess I can see the merit of that.
it's extremely Machiavellian. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say it's Machiavellian, but it's also not.
Like, where would you want your ads to be nowadays?
I don't know. I imagine there's a bunch of them on YouTube, but I got the red, so I don't get none of them.
Well, so the new waves. This is where they think the future is the purchasing and supporting of influencers on TikTok.
Oh yeah, until it gets shut down by the government. So
Well, it depends on who's in the government.
Can they touch TikTok?
I don't know, man. So I've seen so much shit on TikTok over the last like 3 or 4 weeks that it's fucking horrifying. So do not let you. Well, you know this.
I don't
Yeah, you're
want-
not gonna let your kids on
Yeah.
TikTok. Yeah.
Until they break the rules and do it anyway.
Well, yeah, until they turn.
For now.
they'll do it anyway. Yeah.
For now, they're following the rules.
It is. It is. It is so nakedly apparent what they're doing with it. So they're using it to find dissidents in the United States. They're using it to actually track individual political opponents within the United States system. It is fucking like bona fide conspiracy theory bullshit. So, you know, yeah.
Yeah,
But not bullshit.
but, but at the same time, yes, I can sit there and say that about TikTok, but I can also tell you that action was taken against Huawei, who was
Yeah.
doing the same kind of thing. So I can't sit there and say that TikTok is invulnerable.
Oh, no, of course not. So, yeah. Well, Donald Trump, what did he try? He tried to get them to force it to sell to a U.S. company, and the courts blocked it.
Something like that, yeah.
There was something weird that happened there. I don't know the full story.
Look, the dumbest thing I saw this week in terms of like, you've got to be kidding me, was, who was it? It was like Simon and Schuster and another big publishing
Publisher?
house. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That got blocked by the Fed because they're saying, well, letting these two book conglomerates merge would be anti-competitive.
Who was the other one?
It was a big house. I don't remember which one it was, but said this will be anti-competitive. We're going to block this sale. And I'm sitting there saying, you guys have your panties in a fucking bunch about books, actual physical books, when the rampant, I mean, absolutely rampant terror of the tech companies and the monopolies they hold, you guys like, it's fine. No.
We don't really know enough
Yeah.
about it yet.
Who was
What the
it?
fuck we don't?
Was that the SEC? Yeah, it probably was.
Would it be the SEC when it comes to books?
Well, so the Securities Exchange Commission is usually one that actually oversees things like mergers and stuff, or the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission. So, actually, they might be just in charge of financial stuff. I don't
I
remember.
would ask you, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's I can't remember. But yeah, they shot it down, and it was a purchase. Yeah, and it was I couldn't believe that. I was like, you guys have so much room in terms of the actual gross ass monopolies and anti-competitive practices within the tech industry, and you guys are saying, oh, you book people, oh, you
Or Disney, or any of
Yeah.
these giant things. It's like, how do you?
It's because publishers just aren't
Divide-
big enough to defend themselves from that shit. So
why even bother? Why is
I don't know, but like if you go after Disney, you're gonna have an army of freaking Florida lawyers coming your way. I don't know if the publishing industry is still that powerful.
The amount of stuff that is under the Disney umbrella is just, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, but see, the funny thing is Disney's just not as big of a company as you think it is. So, like, it's big. So, take no doubt about it.
well? Here's the question. Okay, so big, yes, but does evil come into play?
I don't know. Do you consider Walmart to be evil?
No.
I think they're kind of true neutral now.
I wonder. I've changed my view on them
Yeah.
because at a time when I was at my liberalist, or however you want to say that, right? I was fiercely anti-Walmart because I think a lot of people told me to be.
Oh yeah, they're killing the little guy. Blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. Yeah,
Yeah.
and they only pay their associates $7 an hour. Yada yada yada. So
And I don't know if my opinions towards Walmart are still rooted in that, or that I just generally, I don't know, don't feel at home there or whatever. But I think my attitude has kind of softened, where I think they're just, that was just the line of business, was all the cool little shops that I liked got destroyed by all the big box stores back in the day. So Best Buy replaced a whole bunch of stores, and
that's true.
and so Walmart was just an extension of that. And then a bunch of these other places are saying, like, don't you remember us, your old buddies Best Buy? And Amazon and other things are cleaning their clocks, even though Best Buy sort of got a resurgence, but in most places the big boxes didn't.
No.
Like, all right, well,
Unless you went into like some kind of like brand specialty, like the Big R, or
I don't know, the big Ara.
yeah, or
Yeah.
like something like that, like Sportsman's Warehouse or something.
Cabela's.
Cabela's, yeah,
Yeah.
that's an excellent example right there. Bass Pro.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you kind of had to carve out your own piece that was the good Walmart,
Right. Or
for fishing gear.
right. The Walmart, the
Right.
Walmart for Pat, Walmart for Jeff.
Yeah. It's still Walmart across the United States. you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Look, there are people out there who are like Target loyalists.
Yeah. Target was like weird. It actually survived all. I remember everybody calling for the death of Target after the 2008 crash. And then they just hung in there because there's a lot of people out there that are like, fuck Walmart. So I'm going to Target. And then Target was like, well, let's turn our places into Walmarts, but make them red.
Right. And some dude in the boardroom was like, that's crazy enough to work.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, I could have called the death knell of, say, Kmart.
Yeah.
And I could have called the death knell of, say, Borders or
Yeah.
Sam Goody or Tower Records.
Oh, yeah. Sam Goody was doomed. So.
I mean, it's odd to me that there are still Suncoasts, but there are.
Yeah.
What is Suncoast?
Suncoast they were the movie store in the malls.
Oh, right.
Really?
Yeah. So ours was right next to so if you go in there, there's the food court. You go in, it's right there on the corner. And it would be right next to the place that sold all the crazy board games.
Oh, yeah. It's your move.
Yeah, there we go. Yes.
That still exists.
Does it really?
Yeah, it's still there.
Oh, yeah. There's stuff.
Board game
costs-
shops actually managed to survive somehow. There's quite a few of them in town. So,
I think there's a quaintness to it that people like appreciate.
well, and they got fucking expensive. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. This is gone are the days where you show up and like, I'd like my $4 copy of Monopoly, please.
So which version would you
$4.
Yeah, I
like?
know. They're like, it's your $400 like figurine set for Warhammer now.
It wouldn't surprise me if you went into like board game shops and they were also doing like tarot readings and shit like that.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah.
hilarious.
Well, yeah. Like, it's either that, so it's weird, so it's got like, fucking Wiccan, kind of like vibes to it.
Right.
Or you go in there and they've just tripled down on the military hardware kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah. So this is
Right.
also where you go to get scale models of airplanes and shit. So,
Yeah.
so they kind of go one or two ways, and you can tell immediately by who's behind the counter. So,
I was trying to remember this the other day. I was trying to remember the brand of like model airplane makers that you didn't want because they were dog shit.
Revell.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would not
Yeah,
have
they
come
came
up
from
with
France. So,
Oh.
they were shit.
Okay.
You wanted Tamiya ones. They came from Japan, and they were excellent. So,
that. Wait, which model? Like the plastic?
yeah, like the old school plastic ones you used to put together.
Wow.
Yeah.
We had a lot of snap tights
Oh yeah. That sounds more familiar.
because that was also age appropriate for us.
Okay, if we're going to talk about that, then yeah, them guys. So, never mind.
What? How do you build the other models that aren't snap tight? Like you just glue, just like rectangular, like whatever pieces.
Yeah, they come on a sprue tree and they're all cut out already, and so you just cut them off there, sand them down.
I just
real
don't
good,
think I
and-
ever had anything that didn't have the notches in it or something.
Like
Like
things,
that. You gotta, it goes here.
It goes here. Yeah. You mean the balsa plane with the fucking like, well, there's a slot and a set of wings. We got this, man.
What I respect about Pat right now is he's good humored about this, and other guys would be derisive.
Oh, that I'm mocking that I'm saying this ridiculous stuff about models.
Oh no, it's not that he's mocking the models, it's that we are so unsophisticated that we're looking for the pegs to
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't even really pick, like, it's like the puzzle piece without any edges is what
Yeah.
it sounds like.
It is, and then you just use like cement. So
So even worse.
Yeah.
You can't make a mistake.
No,
You'd be like,
you're not supposed
oh,
to.
I
Yeah.
needed that piece.
I need to go buy a new one. So, no, man, I built a lot of models when I was a kid, but I know what you're talking about. I had some other friends in different groups who were absolute snobs about it. These are the guys who painted miniatures and shit, you know.
But I thought that
I
was
would have gotten into that.
Yeah. Well, didn't you get into it a little bit later? Miniatures?
just a little bit, but I didn't care enough.
Yeah.
I don't mean that in a negative way. Just the more I did that, the more I was like, yeah, but I want to play with these. But I also don't want to learn the dumb game that this goes along with. So.
And that's usually the problem with some of those. Some of them look really cool, and then
You look fantastic.
yeah, but then after a while, you're like, well, man, like you hit that stage in your life later on. I was like, I gotta dust this shit. So
Gotcha.
Yeah, actually, one of the funny things that keeps coming up here is like with some of the students and things, like, you know, I get them to open up about their hobbies a little bit, and they're a little embarrassed, but they're like, well, I used to collect the Pokemon cards.
oh, that's great.
Right? And the question was, oh, did you play? No.
You just collected them?
Yeah.
I can't picture collecting game cards but not wanting to play the game.
I can, but just like in the sense of like being intimidated by playing the game.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, for sure. For
So,
sure.
because that's what got me. Like, I remember. I don't think it was you. Who was this? Gave me a starter kit for Magic.
It wasn't
Really?
me, but yeah, somebody. I had one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was. It might have been. Oh, I think I know who it was. It was a guy at the airport. And he was just like, oh, let me teach you how to play and stuff like that. But then he wanted to fucking beat my ass. and so, yeah. And I was like, I don't understand that. Yeah. He's like, what does that card mean? And he's like, it means you lose. And I was like, this game is no fun.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, there's a weird thing. When it comes to competitive hobbies or something, I'm starting to realize that the best way to do this is to go in with people at equal skill levels.
Right.
Right?
That's my neighbor. That's some of his games.
Right. You know, I gotta show this to
yeah.
Patrick. Man. Yeah.
So this is radio, not TV. Your voice.
He happily buys the $100, $150 games with the $100 expansion packs
Yeah.
with, and yeah, he
For
just,
what, Pokemon?
No, for board games.
man,
Oh,
this
yeah.
is-
And he would also go to the store. He's like, I just feel like supporting the local guy.
Oh, okay.
Until finally he was just like, nope, sorry, like $70 cheaper online. It
okay.
draws the line.
I've spent way too much money on a couple board games that, I mean, and I still have a few, but I'm very picky about which ones I buy now because, like, really when it comes down to it, I'm never going to play them. that
Right.
often. So, like, I've played, like, Jeff and I think over the last, like, 4 years, I think I bought, like, 3 games. That's pretty impressive. I have that Jaws game. I've never played it. It looks really damn fun.
He does get a whole bunch of random people over to play board games. Like
Random
once
people are not allowed in my
well,
house.
he knows the people, but yeah, he gets people over all the time.
Yeah.
Like once or twice a week, and has board game nights and stuff.
Okay, so that's cool. So
It is his thing. For
Yeah.
sure.
Well, you know, it's the same thing where I gave you kind of like an early analysis of this, but I'll give you a further version. I knew guys that if you went to their Steam library, they would say that I have 120 games I've never played
Why?
because they would go on sale,
yeah,
right? And maybe I will want to play this at some point. But here's my question. Would you rather pay $5.99 for something that you never pay, or God help you, $7.99 when you actually want to play it, or $12.99?
It's that collector mentality though, man. It's not a value thing.
Completely digital stuff.
I get that, man.
Yeah, but if they can tell you the number of games they have, it means something to them.
Yeah. Well, it's just the same thing as like collecting skins in a game that you do play that you never use, man. So, you know, or whatever it is.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
whatever it is that you like. I mean, I know you and I have ground out like hundreds and hundreds of hours on some of these humongous games.
Sure.
Okay, you know, just to wear the Adam Cast jacket.
That was no.
I'm not gonna use anything else as like a game.
That was no, because that was not a target of grinding. It was just a happy
Right.
side effect that you found in your crap.
I understand that, but there was all kinds of other stuff that I collected over there over time that I had no intention of using it, but it was a dot on the map over there. So I'm gonna go fucking get that thing.
Well,
Yeah.
sure. Okay, I get that. But okay, so have you ever given any consideration to when the thing blips up and says achievement, you unlock the whole map, or has that ever mattered
That
to you?
that has not actually mattered to me, except for like there's been a couple games that were sneaky about this, and I know they did this on Xbox for a long time, and I didn't notice it. Okay, but it would actually give you your achievements and then tell you the percentage of other people who had got them.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
So
So the
there's-
diamond achievements are the ones that are.
Okay.
Well, they have a new category now where if it's less than whatever percentage of people who played it have it,
Yeah.
it makes a special noise that shows you a diamond, and it's very rewarding to the brain.
Okay. For mine, it was rewarding that I was like one of 3% of the population that actually finished Red Dead 2.
Yeah, you would get a
99%
diamond one.
Yeah,
for that
yeah,
now.
yeah. It did. And so that would be an exception to that. But normally it's like, oh, you learned how to ride a horse. I was like, I don't give a shit.
Oh yeah. The ones where it's like an achievement comes up and it says start any game on normal difficulty.
Right. Yeah. Register for two-factor authentication.
Oh, I gotta get my phone out.
Oh, God. It's on the charger upstairs.
So there's a cartoon that the kids watch, Big City Greens, and the dad is a farmer, and he's so obsessed about it that the kids get him the farming game,
Oh, really?
and he's just like locked into it, like he doesn't sleep, he just only
Oh my
plays.
God.
He's just like in love with it, and then the farm's going crazy and all this kind of stuff, so they need to get him back. And so they finally get him back, and he's just like, "Ugh, something's just not right. And the daughter's just like, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, there it is.
My little dopamine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. Like, I get it. I just somehow it's weird, even with the number of addictions I've had over life. I'm surprised that never got to me.
I thought you got hooked on fucking slot machines for a while.
Well, no, that's what I'm talking about. Is that
the sound
achievements or things like that never got?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because that seems something that would be right up my alley.
That would get,
Yeah.
I would totally be.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, especially if, say, for example, let's say if you 100%ed a game, right?
Mm-hmm.
That thing that you spent all those times in Red Dead doing. Like, if you 100%ed a game and then the thing just, like, printed you, like, tickets or a voucher, right? For something, like, you 100%ed, you check your mail the next day, it's like, oh, shit, like Red Robin. Right? Or whatever. I don't know. Like I don't. Or for God's sake, yeah. If you 100% of something and you just saw the next day, it's like prepaid Visa gift card, right? Something like that, where there was some kind of like turnaround, some kind of actual, like we talked about, like you guys owe me a Call of Duty hat,
Right, yeah.
right? My K to D.
Right.
If you finish something 100%, and they come out with an expansion that adds another 15%,
I'm buying it.
you have to.
Oh, fuck yeah. I've done that many times. Many times. It's like, oh, they released new chapter. Fuck. So, oh shit, I deleted this. Time to, like,
Start over?
fire up the download machine. No, that's the cool thing about Xbox.
Sometimes.
That's only happened to me that one time, and that was in Dragon Age.
Oh,
So,
that was you glitched out.
You have to start from
I had to
scratch.
start from
But
scratch.
you know what? That
after
ended up
putting,
being
like,
better for you.
It did, and the second playthrough was actually a hell of a lot more fun because I didn't waste half as much time. So, and I was like 10 times more powerful after putting in about half as much hours into it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've done that with other games where it's just like, fuck it, I want to play this again for a little bit, you know? But yeah, no, that was the only time that I actually did that. But yeah, no, there's been plenty of games. In fact, I still haven't played the new Cyberpunk expansion.
Well, it's not out.
Oh, it's not out. I thought it was.
not
Oh,
out yet.
fuck. All right.
No, there's a shit ton of quality of life improvements. I just replayed it actually.
Did you?
Yeah,
okay.
with the express purpose of enforcing my own brand of justice with one punch. So,
Oh my gosh, seriously?
yeah.
Dude, that game's got some wicked tools in it that you can get away
As a
with.
matter of fact,
Did you make yourself bald and
oh, yeah,
everything?
yeah.
Oh, that is.
There's no good cape. I figured I was thinking about
They
looking
don't have
for
a
mod.
cape?
You would think so, but yeah, in the dystopian future of the world, there wasn't a cape. But I'll guarantee you, I should have looked for a mod, right? But it's also a first-person game, so it's not.
You can't see it.
Yeah,
Except for if you're on the motorcycle. So
yeah, that's
Oh,
true. That
that
actually
would
would
be
be
cool.
great there.
Yeah.
That's true. But yeah, so I was doing that, and what I figured out was the thing that makes it all work is the double jump.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
All those legs that you get that let you do that.
Yes, and once I was like bounding off the buildings and then careening towards the earth with one punch, that was a joy.
Did it make like a crater?
Yeah.
You can make a crater with it, yes.
Oh really?
Yes.
Oh, that's fucking cool.
That's one of the that was like, this is fun. And then going out there and fucking like just punching Atom Smasher to death was one of the funniest fucking things. Because they play
From
about
DC?
No.
This
This
is
is
the guy
in the game. And it's ADAM, yes.
Oh,
So, yes.
okay.
But going out there and just fucking wailing on him to death was. I'm like, this is the funniest thing I've ever done in my life.
See, that's so cool when the game lets you get away with something like
Yeah.
that, and you put the time in to be able to do it. So, yeah, I think if I go back again, yeah, I want to do the fucking sword thing. So I want to samurai people. Yeah.
The sword thing was
So-
fun too for a while.
Yeah.
Where I was just, I was like the Night City Ninja, and I was like, okay, this is great. But then when I saw the thing that said, "You want to buy these gorilla arms?" I said, "Why not?" Put them on. I started attacking people. I can't tell you how much I'm enjoying this.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been a few games that I played over the years that kind of gave you that. I mean, you gave me my first experience of that I can remember with just such glee with Fallout 4. So, where you showed me that one pistol, and you're like, just do this, this, and this. And I was like, oh, I just beat the game.
Well, it's funny because bats stopped mattering the
It doesn't
second that
matter.
happened.
He's like, I don't need to use this piece of shit. In fact, I might as well take it off.
Yes, and then what happens there is your mentality in the game changes. When you realize that you could walk into town and people are like, "Hey, new
Yeah. Yeah.
and you realize that you start solving your problems in a different way.
Oh yeah, you the front door. You know, all problems get solved by going through the front door. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so. I mean, that was definitely a fun thing. So, yeah, I'm waiting for the new stuff to come. I thought it had come out, which is why I did that, and then it said, I checked the thing, it's not released yet. I said, well, I can still play it though. And then I started playing, and I got into it, and I started doing like the other choices that I hadn't.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I went for.
There's a few in that game.
There were, yeah. And I was like, well, this is fine. I don't remember this last time.
Yeah.
It's like, I didn't say this to this guy. I didn't.
Yeah, depending on like what background you picked, you get like extra missions here and there too. So,
Yeah.
because I didn't know that, because the first time I played through, I went as the corporate dude, and I turned myself into basically the hitman.
Right. Right.
And then the second time, which I didn't play all the way through, I only played it for a few hours. But I was trying to build my Velociraptor build with the fucking raptor arms.
Yeah.
So it's great, man. You just rip people to pieces. It's disgusting. So, but that one, I got different missions because I played as the street kid on that one. So,
Yeah. Yeah. That's the one
all right, I think I'm going to do that one all the way through. So,
it was fun. Yeah. It was way fun. And I kind of went about for it in the most disappointing way possible, all the way through to the end where they start giving you choices, and I just kept picking the most selfish answers, like not as a jerk, but it was like, I want Keanu Reeves out of my head. And
oh yeah, did you get him out?
yeah,
Oh,
It was funny because he was pissed. He's like, "You're such a pussy." I'm like, "Get out."
In my playthrough, he took me over in the end. So
Yeah, I refused.
I mean, like, I don't know. I had basically become him by the end of it.
Which is kind of a cool thing.
Yeah.
And
Is it
evidently,
literally Keanu
It
Reeves?
is literally
It's
Keanu
Keanu
Reeves.
Reeves.
Yeah.
yeah, he's playing Keanu Reeves.
Keanu,
It is
yeah.
Keanu fucking Reeviest.
And he shows up all the time later on. I mean, like, the further that he fucks with your head, he's like everywhere. So yeah, he's just making color commentary the entire back ass of the game. So
Oh,
And it's a surprisingly good model of Keanu Reeves.
it is.
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
It is and it isn't, man. There's
Yeah.
this piece to it where so I was there when it first came out, and so were you. And there's this part of me that said maybe you guys should have spent like 200,000 less polygons on Keanu fucking Reeves and make it so that all these doors aren't locked.
Let's make it so that not all the trees were like slanting sideways. Yeah. There was so many fucking bugs in the beginning, but like,
Why do my clothes keep falling off?
yeah, or T-posing on the motorcycle.
Yes.
Yeah, there was all these things that were going on in that game, but like, there was a thing that Jeff and I noticed right off the bat was that the gunplay in the game was fucking amazing.
Absolutely.
So
Some people
yeah,
hate it though.
I know some people hate it. It's like, well, I don't remember what version of Modern Warfare you fucking played.
Yeah.
But this is the best game since then that I've played this. You know,
Wow.
where we've got gunplay in it. So and it was like, yeah, it was crazy. I remember seeing Kotaku articles about there. Oh, the gunplay is terrible. I was like, what the fuck game
You're
did you
Kotaku.
play,
Get the
man?
fuck out of here.
Yeah, exactly. So
Nobody's talking to you.
So is Keanu Reeves like in the show when they're going cyber crazy?
No, he's not.
No,
he's
okay.
not. Oh, you did watch that, right?
I did, yeah.
What did you think about it?
I
I
haven't watched it yet. So but you feel free to drop spoilers. It's fine.
I thought it was pretty cool. I did not like when he got so cybered up.
Oh, David?
Is that the kid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he become Maelstrom?
He had not.
Oh,
He did
okay.
not. Did not go that route. Well, I mean, you saw the trajectory he was going
Yeah.
because they have the thing. This is
Oh, did he become a cyber psycho?
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I gotta watch it.
Well, and this was the thing that I really dug about it was I actually thought the cyberpsychosis angle in that worked better than it does in the game. Right?
Did you do all of them in the game?
Yes.
Okay.
But I didn't keep them alive.
Oh, that's different. You get a very different ending.
So I understand. I thought I was.
Yeah.
Because here's the okay. So if you go in this and you are the Saitama of Night City, right? Everyone knows what I'm talking about.
One Punch Man.
Okay. So here's the problem. When you go out there and you beat people up, okay? I thought this was non-lethal. Okay. Now
Not when you explode them, man.
they don't explode. They don't necessarily explode. Okay. But I thought you just throw punches until they're down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so, like in my brain, it's just like, well, he's just sleeping, right?
Right.
But
Yeah.
the way this works is when you punch a dude down to his last sliver of health, you stop. Then they will pass out.
Oh,
Right.
I've seen that.
Right. So my problem
Oh.
was I had killed like 19 cyber psychos and then figured out in the last one, oh,
Oh,
I brought you one.
so like all right. So I had a completely different strategy with that one. So when I went after him in my playthrough, I was a gun guy, and so I had a really decked out non-lethal gun.
Right.
And
Right.
so, yeah, I would just, the last round, I would pop them with that. And so,
Right.
I didn't kill any of them, even though some of them were a bitch.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's this guy out there in the desert that you fight on top of this fucking overpass thing.
Yeah.
That guy was horrifyingly bad for me to do that with because he way outgunned me.
Yeah, and I figured out a way to take him out too because I did
Good.
it with my hands.
Like, he just,
Well, no, actually, you
Huh?
you jump on him and you tear his fucking suit off.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that.
I wouldn't have known that until I said I have to do everything with these mitts.
Right, he tear his suit off. That's
Yeah, you
Whoa.
sneak up
Oh,
on
that's
him and
really
you
cool.
tear his suit off, and then you start fucking decking him. Because if you just go up there and say, I'm gonna box you, he steps on you and then fucking puts a hole through your brain.
yeah, I remember.
Like,
yeah.
this sucks.
Yeah.
Like, well, how am I supposed to do this with my bare hands? I said, I have to be smart enough to think of something.
Yeah.
So did you have it just like, does it let you save like right before the fight? And you got to try
Yeah.
all these different
Yeah,
things?
you can save scum,
Yeah.
but you don't really have to in the game because you respawn. So,
Oh, okay.
Well, it throws you back at your last save. But yeah, and so the thing is, the show actually deals with cyberpsychosis in terms of, like, I do love in the show, they keep giving him chances to step out.
Oh, well, yeah.
How does it, like, because it goes, who's the first guy?
The big boss?
Yeah,
Oh, I don't remember names.
I don't remember his name, but you see, like, well, how does he go down this route? And then you see David's going to go down the same route. And I'm like, this is genius. I'm like, I love this. I love the design on this. I love the energy of this. It's fucking crazy.
It was really cool. I liked him as a character so much that when he got all super bulked out, I was like, you're not the same person anymore.
And it's
I
like,
think that's kind of the idea.
You can die.
it's like, well,
fine.
which two ways are you gonna go? I know which way I want you to go.
I didn't care at that point anymore. Like I just didn't like him anymore. So I was like, whatever.
Well, I guess that was the thing, was at that point I had turned around to liking some of the other characters a little bit more. For whatever reason, like, I thought Rebecca was great.
Is that the tiny girl?
Yes.
Yeah, she was cool.
I thought she was fantastic.
She was really
Fucking
cool.
fantastic. I'm like, I love the design on this. And this is, again, that's that studio that I love, because within this show, people would be lucky to, like, you could treat any frame of that studio's work as an individual drawing.
Yeah. Yeah,
And you'd be
it was
totally
really
thrilled with it.
cool dynamics. The effects were cool. The art,
Fucking amazing.
the way they did, like, even just, you know, like how they did the psychosis was like,
Yes.
was cool to see how they're like tripping out, and
With the eyes and
it was really, really well done.
I wonder if it was some of the same animators that actually did some of it. Did you ever sit down and just watch TV in that game?
no.
There's some fucked up shit on the TV, man.
Yeah.
So, or like the ads in the elevator and stuff.
Normally it was like the news stuff that I was saying.
Yeah, so sometimes it would flip over. So, but just the ads themselves.
That's just going up and down the elevator.
No, I mean, like, the thing about that game is the
gonna get
world
out?
is so. Yeah, get out. The world is just like, it's so rich and, like, yeah, I mean, like, the story's okay. The side missions are pretty good in that game, but, like, just the setting itself is just mind blowing. So, you know, like, I saw people, like, complaining, well, it's not big enough and stuff like that after a while.
There's so much detail. It's like,
It's not just that, but like what Jeff said with the double jump thing, once you figure out it's vertical, it's completely different fucking place. So yeah, it's really good. So
Now there's an absurdity to it that you have to contend with, right? And I don't mean this. There's this part of this where the aesthetic and the mood and the tone of it really wants to put you in a certain way, right? But then there's actually the reality of the game that steps in sometimes, where you're saying, for as seriously as I want to take this, I just went out here and beat a whole bunch of dudes to death in a parking lot because I walked within their range. They said a couple of words. I didn't like it, so they decided to fight with me.
right,
I didn't do anything.
probably tiger claws.
You know, and that's it. That's sort of like, I remember when I showed you, I don't know if you watched it, I remember when I showed you that clip of Miko playing GTA 5.
Oh yeah,
The version where no, actually I don't think I sent you this one. This is the one where she was showing a new friend who was new to Los Santos. She's
Okay.
like, well, I've lived here for 2 years, so let me show you around. And she's like, all right, well, come over this way. And there's a couple of construction guys. She's like, you need to be careful. These guys over here will always be starting fights with you. She's like, starting fights with you? She's like, here, I'll show you. And so she's, you know, being Japanese, and she walks over into the crowd and she says, Konnichiwa, nice job out there today, guys. But because you're standing next to construction guys,
Yeah.
they start fighting you.
yeah,
And that's the kind of thing that goes on here, is the game doesn't have the sense of, I'm just standing here, I'm not antagonizing you.
yeah.
But you've turned this into a nightmare for me because everybody is now pissed.
Yeah.
Because I brushed one against you, it didn't leave.
Yeah. I don't know. I've
And those
played,
games have that.
yeah, so that one's not near as bad as Red Dead 2, though. So
I don't know.
Red Dead 2 had this funky mechanic that you had to learn in the beginning, where to draw your pistol, it was the same button to shoot it.
Great.
But yeah, no, but if you jam it hard enough, it's bang. And so,
Okay, yes, yes.
And so for a long time, you run around and it's like, I just want to drive down on this guy to rob it. Bang! You just blast him. And you're like, fuck, I didn't want to do that, man. It took a little bit of time to get used to that one. So and that was the one where, yeah, there were definitely... So, like, in Night City, unlike Los Santos, the cops wouldn't chase you.
They do now.
Oh, do they?
That's a little bit of an update.
Okay, see, that's nice. All right, because otherwise it'd just be like, well, all I need is a motorcycle.
Yes.
All right, and I will never have to deal with the cops.
You can still do that,
Yeah.
but it's very similar where it's you have the little marker system, right?
Yeah.
And you have to wait that out,
Oh, okay.
right? And
So that's
you
very
can-
similar to those.
Yeah, I was gonna say you should know this. Either get away, but yeah, there are certain things where like elevators and doors won't close if there's like an alert.
Oh, that's new. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not just run in any direction. And
Right.
the cops are.
And try and get away from it. Or like Red Dead 1, where you're going to like, I'm going to shoot all the federal rallies, you know, that he sent after me.
At the end of the game, yeah.
Yeah.
I went straight to BlackRock and said, "We're going to settle this for my daddy."
Oh, no, I was talking about Mexico, man.
Oh, you. Why don't go around here, Lodo?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard you the first time. Yeah, I gotcha. It was weird, and again, it's not as much of a make your own fun game, but it's what's weird is this is the other thing I noticed this time around was there are some like the NPCs don't look bad. Okay, they don't.
No,
They're generated from a pile of body parts, which is the thing.
they used to be really repetitive.
Yes, and that's actually changed too. And you
Good.
can change the frequency of the crowd and that kind of stuff to
Yeah.
straighten things up. But what I've noticed this time around is with the character models that mean something to them, they really put in the effort.
Yeah, you can tell this is somebody who's going to be around for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other ones are just constructed from like spare parts.
Yeah. Yeah.
They did. They took the Mr. Potato Head and just started.
It's the guy behind the desk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
So this
check
one's
out
got
the
a hard
lips on
hat.
this guy.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
exactly.
not a hard hat.
Yeah, they're definitely townies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder, like, I know you probably haven't played a game like that.
No.
I wonder if you would actually get into it.
You might.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I mean, there's a question of time, of course,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
things like that. But I wonder if you'd actually kind of get into that because there is like a fun of like stepping into this and not just necessarily rolling a new character where it's so fucking dumb. Where, okay, so this is your character, but why do they all keep calling you the chosen one? Why do they?
I got the Jesus hand.
What was it? What was it that you were called in Fallout? You were the sole survivor, I think.
You were the Wanderer, I thought.
No, that's the song.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
I think
that's what you named your weapon.
I think it came with that name. So yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, no, I think you were there was something that they called you.
Because in the first couple of games, like in the first one, you were the Vault Dweller, and the second one you were. So, but yeah, I think in that one you were the sole survivor.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're the only one to ever come out of that vault.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And so it's no, my name is Jeffrey. It says so right here.
Right.
Call me that.
I'm Colonel. You know?
But because in this one they actually recorded all the lines of dialogue, that's why the choices were you get 4 choices on a thing, and it was like yes, 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 no, but I'll be back later to say yes.
For what game?
For Fallout 4, because all the lines were recorded and somebody would say,
right.
"Do you want to do this?" It would be yes, 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 or no, but I'll be back later to say yes.
Yeah.
Were the essentially all of your choices.
So you knew where you were going eventually. in that. Well, I mean, that's true in all games. I don't know. Like, the thing that I liked about Cyberpunk that you might like is, like, some of these other games, you get involved in, and there's certain things, like, definitely, like, GTA 5 doing the heist takes, like, a fucking hour to do each one of them. This game, nothing takes more than, like, 10, 15 minutes. So, you know, you can go or you can just fuck around a little bit. I mean, I hate to think about how much time I spent in Night City driving to the next gun shop to find something better. So, and then just running into some bullshit on the way, you know?
Or just on the quest of not wearing extra retard clothes.
I think I'm gonna go with that next time, man. So the more cyberpunky, the better. Yeah, I know. But I remember running around in fucking tidy whities, you know, with this like, you know, this fucking like cutout poofy overcoat.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and this motorcycle
I
helmet.
was wearing these fucking yoga pants for the longest time around. I'm like, I wouldn't wear these.
They're the best thing I've got. You know? Yeah.
That's the future.
No,
Well,
it's not. Goddammit. No.
I wanted to blend in with the crowd, man. If I'm the guy wearing the suit, I do not fit in this place, man.
All right,
Yeah.
roger that. But yeah, that's yeah. There was that.
What are the next big ones that are coming out?
The like games or
Yeah. So we got to be. I think they're on schedule to get us a Dragon Age in the next year.
they do, and
GTA 6 is supposed to come out too.
nobody knows when.
Yeah, I saw that they announced that it's actually in development, but not like.
Well, they leaked.
It did leak, and then
Yeah.
they slowly thereafter announced it.
Well, they knew they were working on it, but they had a build of it that leaked,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that, yeah.
and people were pissed.
Why?
Because when leaks come out, sometimes they end up having to redo big parts of the game or change things, or people like they reverse engineer shit and things like that, so they got upset. But yeah, there was that, and Starfield will be coming out
Oh yeah,
eventually. They've
yeah,
been showing more of that, which of course is Fallout in space.
yeah.
Fallout was not my kind of game. I've watched some people play that, and that is 100%.
Why is that not your game? Why does that?
Which one was it? The multiplayer one? Because that one's crap.
It was just them playing at home,
Oh, okay.
and it
Okay.
just is just I don't know, the idea of just walking around and just talking to people is like 100% not my game. Where you pick and choose, like, well, I can say one of three things. No,
Okay. No. Okay, no, it's not that. It's not that. That's not what makes these things worthwhile. It is eventually what happens is you form your own ethos. There is something in you that says, I am this. Like, for me, when it came on to being like, you know, the Saitama of Night City or the Night City Ninja, right? That worked for it. Or I had this idea of Pat was the guardian of the wasteland, right? He had this idea that
Make it better.
yeah. And so if you somewhere in your mind with, I don't know, the build or whatever it is, something clicks over around like hour 5 when you stop thinking about the game and assume your own identity, and you're like, I have to fix this, or I am a tyrant, or whatever it is. Some part of you takes over and says, the game is almost a hindrance to the fun I'm having. I'm here to fix this place, which is why I had to do every NCPD mission in that game.
It's a One Punch Man, guys.
Because I'm here to clean this place up.
You're gonna clean every
these
last
two
thing
hands.
with your
Yes.
fucking mitts.
Yes.
See, that's great, man.
And there's just something in those, like, if you don't get that catch on and you play the corny ass story where it's the same thing every time, where it's like, well, you've emerged from a sleeping pod from this, or in Fallout New Vegas, it was, whoa, you got shot in the head and you have amnesia. Why don't you tell us your name? And you go out there, and suddenly, about halfway through the game, well, there's a task that only you can do because in your previous life, you were this, right? Every one of these games has that kind of bullshit. And if you get it in your own head that, no, I'm this,
I think the game
that's
just have
where
to
the fun
get,
comes in. Yeah.
they have to get further along to where I can actually interact as me. Not
Oh, some of them are easy to get sucked into early. Man.
pre-coined answers. Not this has to be my response.
So those usually happen at the end of the game. So because there's only like so many different ways it can end, you know.
Yeah,
So
and that's so long to get to, and,
It
and
can
all these
be.
kind of like, if I play Madden, I'm playing a football game, and I'm scripting. I get to choose my plays. I get to choose this. It's going against something that's the defense is choosing their own thing. There isn't a script.
yeah.
So there's no part of this when you go into Madden and say, I am Michael Vick.
No, I'm playing the Broncos. I never even made myself a character.
Oh yeah.
Oh, see, okay, yeah.
That has no
That
bearing
was
on my
like
life.
mandatory. yeah.
It was, we would spend hours, like,
Yeah.
trying to find the cheekbones of, like, this kind of looks
yeah.
like me.
Or
I've
well,
played-
either that or you're making something. I'm Bubba Gump from
Right,
fucking
right.
Alabama.
I'm a cyborg from the future. here
Exactly. Yeah.
to conquer your human game of basketball.
I played Roblox. I played one game on Roblox, or a few games on Roblox with the kids.
Yeah.
I have not touched the skin. Other than whatever the original thing was that it throw some hair on, throw some this
Yeah.
on.
Might not be your jam, man. So did you ever play The Sims?
I haven't. That one might.
That's a good one to
If I
start
got
with. Yeah, that one's really
That one I
to
can
start
see
with.
has potential.
Yeah. If you don't make a William character, you know.
Well, no, making a William character actually is, that's sort of the gateway in.
you think so still?
Absolutely. Because you don't, if you play it straight, okay, so here's the problem. Here's the Sims problem. I'm going to lay it out for you. Do not do this. Okay? Okay? No matter what you do, you cannot do this. All right? This will ruin the game for you. Is when you start the game and play it, and if you find a Will with that hat and that jacket, okay, it is going to throw you in the situation where it's like, do you want to buy this house? Yes, that's all the money I have. Then you're going to look at this crappy place and you're going to say, I don't know how to cook. Pizza's expensive. And to pay the bills, I had to sell the window.
Or the trash can.
But there's this thing where the more you play it and you start to make things nice for William, you become obsessed with making this world a better place for William, right? You're trying to make the best William you can based off the decisions you think you would make. However, if you go online and you look up, well, I wish I had more money,
Don't do that.
and you say, well, I'm just going to give myself 1,000 simoleons. William needs a bigger TV. The
Yeah.
game has been lost.
You just ruined it. Don't do that.
I don't ever use cheat codes.
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
Because if you play it straight, the game will hook you.
Yeah. You'll find something, you know, in there that'll just be like. I mean, and especially the newer version, which I actually did play for quite a bit.
It's pretty fun.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
So it runs like butter. It's so
does.
smooth,
Yeah.
you know. But like, there's so many things you get. Like, I mean, I didn't even get halfway through all the impossible interactions that I could. So just making a new guy, you know. I was like,
Right.
all right, let's just play this one straight up, blank dude, you know, yada yada. Let's jump in there, and I was shocked by exactly how much more detailed the new one is. Because I was used to playing like Sims 1, Sims 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And it's not where you sit there and you look at a person and you know you come to those standpoints and you're supposed to pick, oh well, yes, I understand you have rats in your basement. I'll go ahead and clear these out for you, or no, go fuck yourself.
yeah, exactly.
Right?
It's not in the Sims, man.
No,
it's
it
like
is.
those cockroaches belong to you, buddy. Are you gonna clean this up, or can you live like this? You know, what's more important to you, working out so that you're like fucking super swole, or like cleaning your room? You know, so because you can't do both without passing out eventually.
Yeah, that's the thing. And then as the events sort of swirl around you, you just sort of either force things or you let things.
Yep.
And there's this weird version of this where I remember the one of the problems was in The Sims 1. If you did not babysit these idiots,
Oh yeah. They would constantly go, well, they kind of do that even in the new one where they're like, oh, I've got a phone. I'm going to entertain myself right now. It's like, motherfucker, you need to learn how to cook. So go read that book.
and there is an aspect of yes, of like frustrated parent. It's like, dude, you do not go to sleep now until you finish, or whatever.
You got to finish your homework, man. You're trying to graduate community college here.
With a C- average.
C-minus average, yeah. But it's okay. You're going to be an accountant someday. You're going to be making that fat accountant bank,
So
So
yeah, you could get into that. You could. I don't know. Maybe.
It's possible.
the one thing that I would tell you that's a really good, that makes the game more interesting, especially with the new one, is it gives you like, it's really simple to set up a new character, but they have like these new traits in there. Okay, and you can pick your own. I would recommend you just randomize them. It's fucking hilarious, man. So
But you could also make sociopaths.
I have made sociopaths. They're hilarious, man. So I made this guy that was just fucking angry all the time. And I'm like, man, you have a good life. You have a good job. You got a hot wife. You got a decent house. All this stuff. And he would just blow up on her every now and then. I'm like, she's going to fucking leave you, man. And so I was like, his conscience in the back of his head, I was like, be cool, be cool, be cool. And then all of a sudden, something would happen. Like, he'd be cooking in the kitchen and like a light would go out. He just,
Oh my
it
god.
was so much fun. That's why he was really frustrated at first, but after a little bit, I grew to love him, man. So, and I carried him all the way till he was dead. So as an old man. So
Yeah, and it's not like in the first game where you had the attributes and if you did not assign them, those people became monstrosities.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just antisocial. Like, you could see it. You could, like, the little clickers, like the ones that you're supposed to put in. If you just don't put any of them,
Yeah.
oh my god,
They
it
were
is.
useless,
It is.
yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my god, you need to wear a helmet everywhere. And people would treat them like there were people that because they were kind, they almost treated them like social workers.
He did.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
So, they had badges.
Where are we at?
We're at a buck 31. So, his badge is gonna win. What do you think?
I don't know.
Okay. I think he's gonna win, man.
Badges?
Yeah, I think so.
What is it?
We'll see. Anyway,
I mean, unless there's, Will, do you want to say anything about your befuddling Broncos or anything like that?
oh,
Oh,
when do we play this week?
we don't.
Thank God.
It's a bye. Well, we won the last one
when was that?
London.
in
Oh.
London, yeah, on Sunday. It
Oh,
was
I
at
didn't watch it.
7:30 in the morning.
That-
You're not going to be awake.
Yeah, no. So
They traded Chubb away for a first-round pick, so I was impressed. So,
okay.
eh, well,
So bye week this week.
bye week this week.
All right. What's our record?
3-5.
Cool.
So the AFC is a mess. I guess there's technically hope, but oh, we're good.
There you go. There's the Broncos update. Just had to make sure it was in there.
Random apathy.
Sports and weather rapid.
Traffic.
Traffic.
Do you want to say who we are at some point in the show?
I'm Pat.
I'm Will.
Oh, Jeffrey.
Show over.
We'll buy 76 Cutlass.